All right, go ahead and scooch to the edge of your chair, feet flat on the floor, sitting up nice and tall, maybe taking a couple deep breaths. All right, we're gonna start with those hands today. We're gonna squeeze the hands together, open them up, squeeze them, open them up. Not too big of a squeeze. There are little muscles in there, so gotta warm those up too, right? Just focusing on the posture a little bit while we're just doing these small movements, relaxing the shoulders away from the neck, away from the ears. Roll the hips forward just a little bit, lean forward just a tiny bit, and then pull the belly button in just a little bit. All right, we're gonna go into maybe a little bit of a brain teaser for the hands. We're gonna go ahead and make one fist with one hand to open up the thumb, then the index, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. All right, and then we're gonna do the opposite on the way back in. We're gonna go pinky, ring, middle, thumb, or pointer, thumb, and then open it back up. Try to go one at a time, giving them a little bit of a squeeze and a little bit of a stretch each time. Don't worry about how fast you're going. Just try to go one at a time. All right, go ahead and roll that wrist out. Maybe keep an open palm for your wrist roll. All right, let's try the other side. Make a fist, other hand, open up thumb, pointer, middle, ring, pinky, and then opposite, pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb, and open it up. One at a time. Remember to breathe if you're concentrating. We hold our breath sometimes. And then go ahead and give that wrist a couple rolls, maybe keeping an open palm for those rolls. Let's go ahead and take both hands, wrist rolls with both hands, open palms. Or if you want to do closed fists and keeping those fingers together, sometimes you get a little extra stretch to the forearm by keeping those fists closed. So feel free to try out which one works a little bit better for you. You get a little more stretch to the front of the forearm with the palms open. All right, let those wrists rest. We're gonna start to work our way into the body, fingertips onto the shoulders here. And we're gonna draw some small circles with our elbows. Again, sitting nice and tall. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades just a little bit down the back. Little tiny pinch between the shoulder blades, like they're just trying to wrap around that spine a little bit. And then small circles, not too big. Not yet. We'll come back to this one. Nice deep breaths in and out. Notice if you're holding some tension here. Try to draw the shoulders down a little bit. And then go ahead and wrap those hands around. Give yourself a hug. We're gonna round just the upper back. Give yourself a hug. You could sway a little bit side to side if it feels good. And then remember to let your chin go too. So try to drop your head a little bit, a little relaxing here. And then slowly roll up out of that. Go ahead and uncross. We're gonna reach face level, okay, or shoulder level. And we're gonna do our row, keeping the elbows nice and wide and nice and high. A little squeeze with those shoulder blades. Reach it forward, grab that rope, pull it towards you, or that boat oar, or whatever you are grabbing and pulling. Squeezing those elbows a little bit behind you. They're not gonna go very far behind you here. in this range of motion, but we're just getting the backs of those shoulders activated a little bit. Try to keep them nice and high if you can, if there's no pain. If there is pain here, bring them down a little bit lower. All right, now we're gonna bring those elbows down into our W, and then keeping the elbows bent, we're gonna bring them up overhead and cross, and maybe little forearm just touch there, bring them down W, and then cross opposite arm in front, opposite hand in front. Little like really slow jumping jack. Remember to alternate arms. I know that opposite arm can feel a little awkward. All right, we're keeping the arms nice and high. Go ahead and make fists and bring those fists across one another, and we're gonna roll it. Should get some of those arm muscles fired up. Maybe bring the roll up across the face if you want to go a little higher, and down. Again, always want to move no shoulder pain ranges. So if you are having a little bit of a pinch in the shoulders, keep them a little bit lower. Good, go ahead and let those hands relax. We're going back to the shoulders, bigger elbow circles now. So now we've warmed up a little bit. Maybe you start to really roll through that shoulder girdle. Big deep breath in, big deep breath out. Nice and controlled. On that exhale, squeezing that belly button in just a little bit to keep those core muscles engaged. And then wrap the arms around. This time you're going to wrap the opposite way you did before, if you can, with your hug. If you remember, it probably feels awkward if it's the opposite one. So we're going to bend around the upper back, let it hang, maybe a little rock and roll, some deep breaths. Good, slowly roll up out of that and release. We're gonna go right in front, about shoulder height here again. Grab that rope, pull it towards you, elbows high. Reach it forward, pull it in. You can almost pretend like it's a boat if you want to reach forward a little bit with your whole body and then lean it back a little bit. You'll get your upper torso involved and that core involved a little bit more. So you're reaching forward, exhale, as you do that tiny little lean back as we squeeze, like you're actually on the water rowing that boat. And then elbows down by the sides when you bring them in, and overhead, slow jumping jack, alternating the cross in your forearms, tapping, almost tapping your wrist to the opposite elbow if you can, if they reach. If they don't reach, that's okay. Sitting nice and tall. One movement per one breath is a really good way to go about these motions. And when you're doing stuff on your own, we inhale, we exhale. Squeezing those shoulder blades down when they're down by the sides. You can really get a nice squeeze there. Good, and when you evened out your sides, cross those forearms, make those fists, roll in it. Maybe staying low if the shoulder's bothering you today. Maybe you want to cycle through it, look it up a little bit at it, and bringing it down. And bringing it up. And down. Getting a little heat through those arm muscles. Getting the elbow joints moving too. We don't really do that very much. We don't think about getting our elbow joints moving and warmed up and lubricated. Good, bring it down and relax. All right, we're doing a little spinal twist. We're gonna take opposite hand to opposite knee. So a little twist and pulling the belly in to protect the low back. And then I'm gonna sweep that back arm open, open it up, open up the chest. Big inhale, big exhale, sweep that hand opposite knee. Little twist, open it up. Inhale, exhale, and sweep. So going with your breath, inhaling as you bring it back, and exhaling as you let it sweep. I like this chest opener, but you might want to keep a little elbow bend, just a tiny elbow bend on that back arm. Go ahead and even out your sides. And then we're going into the hips a little bit. So I'm going to try to bring one knee forward and then the other knee forward. All right, kind of like I'm trying to walk it out, about keeping those feet on the ground still. One hip's coming forward, the other hip's coming forward. Little hip wiggle. If you have a rotating chair, your chair will rotate with you. As I was practicing this earlier, that was happening. And then let's bring up our right side knee and give it some hugs, give it circles. Maybe give it a couple squeezes if it feels good. And release it, and other side. Clasping those hands around the knee, hug it in, maybe just hug, maybe a couple squeezes, maybe some circles. Maybe give it some squeezes up to the chest. And go ahead and relax. And we'll finish off with a little stretch on each side for the hips. We're gonna cross the leg over in a figure four position. And if you need to keep it on the shin, that's fine. If you're able to keep walking it up a little bit, and you want it either below or above the knee, right? Not on the knee joint. You can walk that bottom foot in to our seated figure four stretch. If you want, let that knee hang open. I like to hold my knee sometimes for a little support, and you're gonna feel that stretch through the outside of the hip, maybe even into the hamstring a little bit. If you need more, you can lean into it a little bit, or I like to bring the chest either towards the bottom leg or towards the top knee. You can kind of direct the stretch in different areas. And slowly come up and slowly release. Other side, crossing that ankle over, and maybe this is where the hip hangs out if you're feeling that stretch already. Otherwise, we can start to walk it up and start to walk that bottom leg with it. We're either going to go below or above the knee, right? And let that knee hang open. Taking some deep breaths. Maybe you give that knee a little hug. Maybe you lean to one side, lean forward, or lean over that other leg. Get a little different stretch. Good, and slowly let it go. Feel free to do a little bit more of that at your desk, but we are at time for today. So